Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Soyinka to Tinubu, make power devolution priority. Court suspends LP National Chair, Secretary, others. I am sad to leave Nigeria, says British High Commissioner. Stop harboring IPOB members, FG tells EU countries. 50 million Nigerians to share World Bank's $800 million as petrol subsidy palliative. 6 died, 27 million recovered from accident scene in Osun. Trump denounces felony charges against him. APC moves to reconcile Adamu, Omishiri, and with Lukman. And Obasanjo writes UK court over Ekweremadu. So Professor Wole Soyinka was yesterday speaking at the TV station, and he was saying specifically that the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, must decentralize power. They said that for him is priority for the incoming government. He spoke well, saying that the decentralization, that is all I want out of the incoming government. Whichever it is, let us have a genuine, not a rhetorical, but a genuine, practical, detailed decentralization. And that was his core message. We've also talked about recently when he condemned Datti, that's the Labour Party vice presidential candidate, saying that he was wrong for him what he said. Well, that nobody has ever threatened the judiciary like that, and it's wrong for him what he said was wrong. Either way, but yesterday's interview was specifically to remind the president-elect that decentralization should be priority for him. Any other story?
Yeah, 6 people were killed in an accident on the Ikpetu-Ilesha road in Osun State. The road safety suspects that they had a head-on collision, you know, and 7 people were injured. He said there were 17 people. He says they found 21,900 on the driver, but they didn't specify whether he died or not. But then they also found 27,171,400, and they have disbursed that to the victims' families.
That's good. That's a good one. Yes, so the outgoing British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Wendy Lane, spoke yesterday during a farewell visit to President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House, Abuja, after 4.5 years tour of duty. And she said that she had a fabulous time in Nigeria and she will definitely be back. According to her, she said she's had a very good time for 4 years. She loves the dance, the music, the culture, and it's been good to experience our country. She's been to over 20 states, and she has told her successor that you must travel around the states in the country. And also in response to that, the president said that they had had a very good 8 years working together. That's with the British Commission, and the president applauded them for all the work they are doing in the Northeast, you know, trying to help, you know, do things to solve the case of insurgency and rebuild the Northeast. And so that he's very happy that Nigerians love having relations with UK. As a Nigerian, if you don't have a house in UK, it seems like you're not complete. But that he's tired. He cannot wait. After May 29th, he's retiring to Daura, Katsina State, where he's going to stay far away from Abuja and, you know, attend to himself, basically.
So, still talking about the UK, our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has written a letter over the Ekweremadu situation. He's asking the chief clerk that over the court to take in cognizance the fact that Nigeria has a good relationship with the UK, and also the fact that the Ekweremadus were acting based on the emotional attachment to their child, that they should also consider the fact that they have a daughter who is very ill. He mentioned the fact that he realizes the implication of their action, and he says it is unpleasant, condemnable, and can't be tolerated in any sane, civilized society. But he's pleading with them that in the sentencing, they should take in cognizance those 3 things he highlighted. However, we must remember that during the 6-week trial, the prosecutor, Hugh Davis Casey, kept saying that the way the Ekweremadus treated Nwamini and other potential donors was more like a cold commercial transaction, seeing them like a disposable asset. So at least we're hoping that the sentencing will take in cognizance the letter that Obasanjo has written, and it might be they might be lenient when sentencing him.
You don't think that Obasanjo has a political, there's a political undertone to his letter? Well, that's not a conversation for today, but it's just suspicious. Like, why is he the one
He's
writing
appealing
letter?
for
Okay, let us...
an other statesman.
Okay, all right, we'll see. The Punch. New House leadership, opposition reps elect plots to upstage APC. Bitcoin platform with 1.5 million Nigerian users shut down. Okada riders on rampage kill cop injured DPO. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway ready April 30th. Drainage delay Oyo section, says federal government. Ekweremadu Obasanjo begs UK court for leniency. Fresh promissory note raising national debt, says DMO. And FG borrowing $800 million for mass transit and cash transfers. Okay, which story are we starting with?
We can do the 800 million. So the federal government has secured $800 million from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, World Bank, to provide post-petroleum subsidy palliatives for over 50 million Nigerians ahead of June 2023. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, revealed this in the State House. And, you know, this is a conversation that we had been having. I remember taking it 2 weeks ago where they said they were going to find ways to give palliatives to cushion the effects of removing the subsidy. And now this is one of the things that they have signed off on. And this first tranche of the palliatives will be disbursed to 10 million households in form of cash. She said there's a provision of the Petroleum Industry Act that says 18 months after the effectiveness of the PIA, all petroleum products must be deregulated, and that 18 months takes us to June 2023. They are also working to see how they can raise more funds so that they have enough cash to disburse to this family. Now, there's a register that has been opened which contains a list of 10 million households, and that is equivalent to about 50 million Nigerians. That will be having the first tranche of disbursement. So when they get more money, they will see how they can scale that up. They are also finding ways to do more, aside from the cash transfers, they want to be able to still give mass transit-free transportation to people to help cushion the effects of the removal of the subsidy, and they are working on all of this.
Okay, so, okay, you have a story?
Yeah, the Okada riders.
Yes.
On the rampage, allegedly, they killed a policeman. The policeman had tried to arrest one of the Okadas, and when he stopped him, the other ones now gathered. You can't arrest him, and in that matter, they started to fight. Apparently, another policeman tried to scare them away by firing in the air. They pounced on him. This is the story by witnesses. They pounced on him, seized his gun, beat him, and killed him. Then they now dispersed. But they started brandishing weapons and everything, because the police now came, you know, to try and
Arrest.
yeah, install law and order. But they were just frightening. This Sele bus stop.
In Lagos, here we have banned Okada.
Well,
but Hussein is saying no.
as Benjamin Hundeyin, the PR. Yes. Have they arrested anybody yet? Do you know?
They've seized 41 motorcycles. They've arrested 2 suspects. But he's saying no weapon was taken from the police. He's saying that's fake news.
Okay.
So.
All right. So the peer-to-peer Bitcoin platform Paxful. Many people know Paxful because there are about 1.5 million Nigerians users were on that platform. The co-founders disclosed that they have to shut down their operations. Now, he was saying specifically that they had to suspend their marketplace position. He said, we are not sure if they will come back. This will probably come as a big shock to many. He says he cannot tell you the full story now, but for now, he has a lawsuit over his head right now. That I think his co-founder also sued him. But he said, more importantly, a lot of the things have gotten really strained due to a lot of regulatory obligations which they are unable to meet. Many Nigerians, if you recall, when CBN had restricted cryptocurrency in Nigeria, many Nigerians then migrated into Paxful. I know a few people that are also on that platform. Said with its impending closure, joins a long list of crypto firms to shut down after promising customers so much money. Paxful gained prominence in Nigeria after the central bank had placed a restriction on the crypto transactions through official channels. So I feel bad for
It's your own there.
Would they lose money?
I know you had one
well,
account.
I can have a Bitcoin, but thank God I had sold it then. Please, thank you very much. But I had some change. So what happened was that I sold then, but I had some 0.0 Bitcoin left, which when I value was almost ₦1 million. So
that's something.
that is still, it was there.
It will still come up.
But it's not on Paxful, somewhere else. Okay, let's go on a quick break.
I'm just asking.
When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now we're moving on to Daily Sun. Soyinka gives damning verdicts on last elections. NSIA Vital signed carbon avoidance removal projects and agreement. Post subsidy palliatives. FG secures $800 million from World Bank, targets 50 million Nigerians. 8 students, others kidnapped, says Kaduna State government. FG to build 15 psychiatric outposts in Southeast. Igbo should come home for census to prove our large population, says IPOB. Obasanjo rise UK court, seeks leniency for Madu. And treason claim, FG APC overheating politics, Nwazurike. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The federal government has established 15 outposts of mental health care centers in the Southeast. This was according to the medical director of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Enugu, who said this, after they had a short briefing. And he said that the outposts will be located in each of the senatorial districts, and the essence is to make access to mental health services easier for the people of the zone. 9 out of the 15 proposed outposts have been completed and equipped and will be operational soonest, and they have ambulances readily available to convey patients to Enugu in case of major cases. So according to him, he said this hospital is the only psychiatric facility in the entire Southeast region. It's also the only facility that is made to train doctors and nurses in psychiatry. It's also the only facility that offers research in terms of mental health in the Southeast. And it is also our mandate to give clinical services to people that have mental illnesses. They are also saying that this is open to people from all over the regions, other parts of the country, the south, the north, and all that. You can have access to mental health care in these facilities. So the remaining 6 will be worked on, and by the time they are ready, they will open for business.
So many of us remember the Sovereign Wealth Fund, right? So the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, have a joint venture with a company called Vital, and they have completed this venture to help in to invest a range of carbon avoidance and removal of projects as in the process of reaching a final investment decision to the first project. So what they're doing is that they're going to be investing in projects to support climate change in a nutshell. This was said by the Honorable Minister, Finance Minister and Budget National Planning, that's Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, was saying this yesterday. Said that they've made an initial investment of $50 million, has been committed with view to attracting more investors as partnership develop the project going forward. The JV will commence with projects in Nigeria, partnering with local firms with proven track record of successfully delivering high-quality projects, combining carbon offsetting with social outcomes that contribute to the attainment of the United Nations development goals. This is good news, at least, but now we know how they could plan to reinvest some of our sovereign wealth fund, and this is a good this opportunity for those in the climate change and environmental area. It's an opportunity to work with the Nigerian government on this.
So I want to take the story about from the federal government, represented by Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Minister for Information and Culture. He was speaking in Washington, D.C., addressing a group of U.S. officials in an engagement on international media and policies based on the just concluded 2023 elections. And his comment was that some Western countries are giving credence to IPOB. They are supporting IPOB, allowing IPOB to raise funds. According to him, in Nigeria, IPOB has been declared a terrorist organization. He said, but some Western countries are dealing with them, and he said it is hypocritical for the world to claim that it's fighting terrorism, yet in turn support a terrorist organization. He used the platform to call upon the foreign media to stop regurgitating social media fables on the Nigerian 2023 elections on their platforms. And then he said that they should interrogate every information that they get from social media before posting it. And once again, he's just asking that they should stop having any commercial dealing with IPOB.
And in another development, the spokesperson for the indigenous people of Biafra has said all Biafrans should come home for counting, for the census. He says they keep on saying that the Igbos are only a dot in Nigeria, that they should come. Everybody should leave Lagos and live wherever they are and come home and be counted to show that they are not a dot.
They also mentioned that they would, so that they can provide all the amenities needed within the state within Biafra.
That's if you live in the state. So the problem is that census is not just for counting.
Yes.
Census is about resource control. How do we share resources? So if you don't live there, there's no point in being counted there, because when they do resources there, you're not going to be there to use it. So the states where you lived will now have
shortage.
Because
what they will be doing will be disenfranchising
certain people in certain states. Yeah, so
working
people need to be. Well, the smart ones won't listen to that. All right, let's move on. Let's find another story. Vanguard. DMO, why government debt is rising as LCCI others list ways out. Obasanjo writes UK court pleads for Ekweremadu and wife. Whitney Adeniran's family, Christian, agreed to conduct independent autopsy. Court stops Abure, others from parading as LP Exco. Varsity's others to get 320 billion naira intervention funds. Easter, FG declares Friday and Monday public holiday. Those questioning legitimacy of Tinubu's victory are sore losers, says APC. Petrol subsidy, FG secures $800 million World Bank fund for palliatives. Peterobi describes leaked audio as fake, goes to court. And NSIA, Vitol sign agreements for carbon avoidance removal projects. Okay? Are we starting with?
Yes, so President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 320 billion as the 2023 intervention funds for public universities and other tertiary education institutions in the country. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Sonny Ekono, disclosed this during the fund's annual strategic planning workshop with all the heads of the beneficiary institutions in Abuja yesterday. And he also said that the meeting was an avenue to receive feedback and evaluate performances of its intervention lines to enhance a more robust delivery of the agency's mandate. So according to him, they have split the money, how it's going to be shared to the higher institutions. The university will be receiving about 1 billion, 1-point-something billion. Polytechnic about 600 and something million. Colleges of education will receive about 800 and something million. And they're saying that they're happy with the approvements of this disbursement, and the guidelines also have been given out. So these tertiary institutions should be awaiting the payment of this money. Yeah.
So I wanted to take Whitney Adeniran's story. The court, the court has granted Chrisland the leave by the magistrate to have access to the toxicology and samples and tests conducted to have an independent forensic evaluation. Yeah, and they have said that the family of Whitney will be present there. The family didn't oppose this arrangement. And so it's going to go ahead as planned.
Oh, no, wow.
So sad. Let me take the story of Peter Obi refuting the audio. He said that the leaked audio is fake and he disowns the content of it. He said all through, prior to the campaign, he had not, in a series of tweets, he mentioned that he had at no time said that the election was a religious war. He also mentioned that he is thanking all the youth and Nigerians and obedience that they are remaining focused on the core mission, which is a new Nigeria. He said, not before, during, or after the election is it on record that I've maintained my commitment to focus on issue-based campaign. He says he's already prepared his lawyers to take the case against People's Gazette and others over the claimed audio leak. He said this is an attempt to manipulate Nigerians. It's very sad and wicked. I remember saying another report that somebody from his team
Kenneth
accepted.
Okongo had said it was
confirmed. Suddenly, Nigerian Tribune, let's find a story of not taking Kaduna government reinstate 1,288 sacked primary school teachers. The WHO says 1 in 6 people affected globally by infertility. Inspector killed DPO injured as Okada riders attack police in Lagos. FG disposes 320 billion intervention funds on varsities. Court stops a Labour Party chairman, 3 others from parading themselves as national officers. Naira swap hardship, Buhari living on a sour note, says Soyinka. And organ harvesting, Obasanjo writes UK court pleads for Ekweremadu. Okay, which story haven't we taken?
Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State has approved the reinstatement of 1,288 public primary school teachers sacked in June 2022. So in a statement, the Public Relations Officer, State Universal Basic Education Board, Hajia Hawa Mohammed, said this on Wednesday in Kaduna, and he said 1,266 teachers who failed the competency test were reinstated, as well as 22 others who were removed from government payroll as a result of the discrepancy. So we know that the board had dismissed these teachers for failure to sit for the test. That's about 2,192 teachers, while 165 teachers were sacked for poor performance. But most of the teachers came back to say that they were not able to do the exams because some of them were sick at the time, and which they provided proof of the sickness. Others said that they were exempted because they were administrative staff, so they weren't able to take the examinations. And after they had, reviewed all of these complaints, they were able to reinstate these teachers back. So I want to say congratulations to the teachers that have gotten their jobs back.
Just,
yeah, go ahead, Wake.
Yeah, just the Wole Soyinka saying the president is living on a sour note. He said he disenfranchised many Nigerians and impoverished many Nigerians with the Naira swap policy. He said, so he has left a bitter taste in the mouth of millions of us. And that he loved the way some of the governors took the matter to court and obeyed the Supreme Court, that is what true federalism is about.